Hey, future miners, Mr. Cornejo here. I am one of the school counselors here at Plaza Rita Junior High School. We are super excited to have you guys come to our school. So I'm going to be doing a presentation on Plaza Rita and give you guys more information about our school. I wanted to start off with introducing our principal and assistant principals that we have on campus. Mr. Turner, who's been a principal here for a few amount of years, has been with this community for many, many years, and he has been such an awesome principal. We also have our two assistant principals, Miss Matson and Miss Davis, who also support all of the work that happens here at Plaza Rita. And now we have the counseling team. So we have three school counselors, and we also have a counseling secretary who supports all of us and supports all of our students. So one of those counselors is myself, Mr. Cornejo, Mrs. Villasenor, Mrs. Bartolovich, and we also have Miss Piercy, our counseling secretary. So something you should know, and you might have already heard, but you'll be taking 6 classes here at Plaza Rita. You will be separated into different teams. And what these teams mean is that you will have assigned teachers who will work with the same amount of students, which would be a team. And so each of you will be placed on a different team. You will be getting grades and progress reports in junior high school. You will also be getting a quarter report cards, and we'll speak a little bit about that. Um, you will be getting some student planners, so that way you can keep track of all of your classes and all of your assignments. You will also have access to something called Infinite Campus. That's just basically a platform and an app that records all of your grades and all of your information that you and your parents are able to see. So what classes will I be taking next school year? You'll be taking 6 classes, as I mentioned: English, math, world history, physical education, PE, science, and you'll take an elective class. So you get 4 quarters of each. Okay. I'm going to explain that in the next few slides. So you also get something called credits. So 2.5 credits are earned for passing each class with a D minus or better. In junior high, the grades that you get are letter grades. You get an A, B, C, D, or F. So in order to receive credit for a class, you will have to get a D minus or better. Each quarter is 2.5 credits, okay? There's gonna be some math involved, so just stay with me, okay? 2.5 credits, right, for each class. And if you're taking 6 classes, you get a total of 15 credits, right? So that's 1 quarter. And how many quarters are in this year? We mentioned there was 4 quarters, right? In one whole year, you can earn up to 15 credits, because we know that each quarter you can get 15 credits. And if there's 4 quarters, then we add, then we then we multiply 15 credits times 4 quarters, and you get a total of 60 credits per school year. I know it's a lot of numbers. I know it's super confusing, but we just want to give you guys a heads up of what this breakdown is, because once you start, you'll start to hear the words quarter and credits. And so we want to give you some just general information on these credits, okay? So students can earn up to 120 credits in junior high school. Now you only need 107.5 credits to promote. So you got to stay on track to avoid summer school. Because if you don't pass your classes, and if you get an F in a class, you don't get that credit. And then you end up in summer school. All right. Now, getting help. It's going to be different. You're going to have different teachers, and there's going to be a lot of new information, but you can get help. Okay. So teachers are available on selected days and times. The school year might look different than what it was this year and the previous year because of our current pandemic, but there is help and support. So just know that if you have any questions, your parent, if you or your parent have a question, they can reach out to someone from our school. The computers will be available in the library after school. Of course, this might be different because of our current circumstances. We will have after school intervention. We've been having after school intervention even now virtually. There's something called Saturday Academy that we're still not sure if that's going to happen, but we want to give you guys a heads up that it's basically Saturday school. So if you're behind on credits and need help, you got to go to Saturday Academy. So you got to stay on track. And there's also support groups. And we kind of help us counselors kind of support with that. And it's always okay to get extra help. Everyone always needs extra help. Attendance is super important. Now, we do have a closed campus. So the only times you're able to come in is when the school starts and then when school leaves. Of course, if you have special permission to leave campus, you'll be allowed to do so. Um, Ask for homework after 3 days of absence. So it's super important that students know that if you know that you're going to miss for 3 days, you got to connect with your teacher. Send them an email, send them a message, speak to them and say that you're going to be absent so you can get the homework. Independent study is for students who are going to be absent for 5 days or longer. If you're going on vacation, if something happened, if you are unable to attend school, you would request something called independent study. Okay. Okay, elective options. Many of you, I'm sure, are super excited about this part of junior high school. You get a chance to choose different types of classes that you can be a part of. So these are our options, and we will talk a little bit more about this later on in the video. So just know that applications and auditions are required for some of these electives. And we will actually be talking about that on the Future Minor website, which I will explain to you in a little bit. Okay, we also have clubs and activities. Some of these clubs and activities will look very different because of our pandemic. Some of them are happening virtually right now, but we will give you just more information once the school year starts. But I want to give you just an idea of the type of clubs and activities that we've had in the past. We also have a dress code, and the dress code is the same for all genders. We do have some of this information also on our registration guide, which we will talk about in a little bit as well. So, discipline, be on time and in your seat when the bell rings. Okay. Or if you're attending virtually, depending on what that looks like, make sure you're on time. That's something that you're doing and you should be doing now in elementary school. Chewing of any type of gum, eating or drinking will not be permitted in class unless teacher gives you permission. Riding on school property, of course, will not be permitted. Rudeness and profanity and any of these things will not be tolerated here on our campus. Any action or item that is unsafe or that disrupts school is unacceptable. Any of these results will lead to you speaking to one of our assistant principals that we mentioned earlier in the presentation. Placerita is a safe zone. All right. So we try to refrain from any gossiping. We don't want to put anybody down. No name calling, hands off each other, attentive listening, and appreciation for all. I know in elementary school it's the same. So once you come to Placerita, just know if any of these things happen, please speak to an adult, please speak to a counselor or teacher because any of these things are not permitted on our campus. We want to make sure everyone feels safe. Okay? And that concludes this PowerPoint presentation. I will be going over the Future Minor website and also the form that you have to fill out after you've watched this presentation. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you how to do is how to access our Placerita Junior High School website. Okay, usually, oh, well, there we go. Usually, I just type in Placerita Junior High School, right? And it should take you to the first link. You know, click on the first link. It should take you to the school's homepage. You're going to click on counseling and then click on counseling home. And it should take you to our counseling corner. Okay. This is the homepage of where you'll be able to review and access a lot of the information. So as you see right here, it says Future Minors website. This is what you'll be selecting so we can review some of the stuff that I covered earlier in the video. So once you click on that, it should take you to our Future Minors website, and it should look something like this. So once you click on it, this should be the first thing you see. It gives you a quick just welcoming, a quick introduction. We're going to scroll down, and then it gives you information about the Placerita counselors. This is an opportunity for you to kind of learn a little bit more about us because we're super excited to learn more about our students coming in. If you scroll down, it says haven't chosen your elective class yet. So these are the steps that we'll be covering so you know exactly how to fill out the elective selection form. So before we go there, I'm just gonna keep going through registration guide. We're gonna click on this in a little bit, and I'm gonna give you more information about that. Sixth grade orientation PowerPoint. This is exactly what we just went through. I will put a link right here so you can access this video that's happening right now. I'm gonna go ahead and link it right there so you can rewatch it in case you have any questions or you want to review any information that I shared. And then here are some answers for your questions that you submit on the form, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Let me go back up. So, haven't chosen your elective class yet. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch the sixth grade orientation video. Now, this orientation video was the one that we had last year. So some of this information and some of it looks like how it used to before COVID. But I wanted us to view this video together so you can get an idea of what the campus looks like, what the classes will look like. Now, it might look a little bit different because of our current pandemic, but I want us to just kind of check out this video.
Glad you could make it. Come on, I gotta show you around. It's almost time for Minor Morning TV. Elective Productions. Here, come on, let me show you around.
You're here. We're not quite ready for you yet. Come back and let us set up.
Why don't you go check out some of the exploratories that you'll be doing next year and go have some fun. Nice. Goodbye. These are our electives. You could walk into any elective room and find people like ASB making flyers, industrial arts making things with wood and metal, to even band practicing for their concerts.
So, what'd you think? All of our exploratories offer great opportunities for you. Now let's take a look at our clubs. Imagine all the fun you could have after school.
These are our clubs. We have clubs ranging from things like drama, running club, or even our own Kidflix productions. You'd often find out how to get into a club earlier in the year through the morning announcements.
many things to choose from, and if that wasn't enough, check out our wonderful activities that we have at Plaza Rita.
These are our activities. Most of them are planned by our very own ASB, but others are held by clubs and Elective to fundraise for their big projects coming up. You can participate in activities like the Turkey or Winter Bowl, ASB brunch time activities, and much, much more.
Welcome back. I think they're ready now. But shh, they might be doing a live show.
Club Life in 404 today. Hang out with some cool kids or learn stuff about the Bible.
Today, Club Hot will be meeting from 3 to 5 p.m.
Tennis club today after school. No need to sign up. Balls and rackets are provided.
Make sure today after school that you are off book for drama club and all people that are involved with set, crew, and design.
SSA, you will get a permission slip handed out during your first period to come to Tanner Hall in the second lunch.
Now we're going to Facts with Max.
Hello and welcome to Facts with Max. Hello and welcome to Facts with Max, a segment of our many that Minor Morning TV has. Did you know that Plaza Rita has a rotating schedule where all 6 classes are in one day? Other schools have something else called a block schedule, where they have 3 classes per day. Because of how many students we all have at our school, we have something called first and second lunch, where you're divided every day between classes, which choose what lunch you have. We also have something called DEAR, meaning drop everything and read, where you spend the first 15 minutes before class, after brunch, and you read your book. Every morning during your first period, you will watch something called Minor Morning TV, where your anchors will tell you what's new with Plaza Rita and give you all the announcements. The Facts of Max Foundation can confirm that a minor and a minor are 2 very different things, but at this school, the same. These are the facts. Now over to Mr. Cass.
Okay, so I wanted everyone to see that video because I wanted you to get a chance to look at what the electives could potentially look like going back to school. We don't know how similar it would look to that video, but we're hopeful that we can bring some of those elements and some of that aspect of those elective classes and clubs on campus. And we currently do have those opportunities virtually as well. So just so you can have an idea, so you know what some of these classes would look like. So when you're selecting your electives. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and review the class descriptions, the elective class descriptions. If you say click here, it should take you to this part of our website. So as you see here, we have something called the exploratory wheel. So the exploratory wheel consists of 4 different classes. It's art, culinary arts, industrial arts, and computer technology. So these 4 classes will be part of the wheel, like I mentioned. Now, if you select the wheel as part of your electives, something that you should know is that you'll be taking 2 of these options throughout the school year. One you're going to take for the first semester, and the second one you're going to take for the second semester. So if you select the wheel on the elective form, these are the options that you will be signing up for. Okay, let's go to the next elective options. You will see here that we have beginning band, we have chorus, and we also have beginning dance. So you are also able to be a part of these electives if you're interested in, and these are considered year-long electives, which means that you would be in these electives for the full 7th grade year. Now, we also do have electives that need auditions and applications, as I mentioned earlier in my video. So right here, you can see that we have advanced band, we have advanced string orchestra, we have associated student body, which is also known as ASB. We have advanced dance, and we also have yearbook. So once you get a chance to review this website and really go through it, you're able to see the application process. Some of them it says to be announced because we're still trying to figure out what that would look like for this, some of these specific classes. You will see the email as well of the teacher in case you have a question for them. You can definitely email them. But you will also see that some of them already have an application process. So you're going to go ahead and click here for any of the application process for those electives that you have to complete an application for. So the first one that we see is for dance. So already there's audition dates that you can look at and see all the other information that the dance class has in order to be part of the advanced dance portion. Okay. Now we're going to look at yearbook. So yearbook here already has an application process as well. It's going to take you to our yearbook teacher, Mr. Di Felice's page, and you will see he has all information here about yearbook. You're going to read this information, scroll all the way down, and you can go ahead and click sixth graders becoming seventh graders application. You're going to click there to apply. Okay. Now let's go back. All right. So take the time to read over some of these options, see which of these you would be interested in. And so then you're going to be able to go to the next step. So we're going to go back to home. You're going to click on home. Okay. And then we're going to scroll back down to the steps. And the final step would be this one. Click here. Okay. So the final step, step 3, says to fill out the form. Okay. So you're going to click there and it's going to take you to the 7th grade elective selection form. So just some important information to go over before we start. Okay. You will not be able to save your progress in this form. So before beginning the form, please do the following. You're going to review the 6th grade orientation video and elective descriptions found on the Future Minors website. So that's just what we went over right now. Read all the questions carefully on this form before submitting, as you will only be able to submit this form once. Okay. It's helpful if a parent or guardian reviews your answer. So whenever you're filling out this form, talk to your parent or your guardian to see if they can help you fill out this form in case you have any questions. You're also going to review all of your answers carefully, as you will only be able to submit one request. Okay. Please fill out as completely as possible and make sure to double check for spelling. Do not duplicate answers. So the first section is student information. You're going to put the student's last name and the student's first name. Okay. We're going to make that clear. Last year, we had some students write their first name first and their last name second, which is normal. But for this form, you're writing your last name first and then your first name. You're going to select the elementary school that you attended. If you did not attend any of these elementary schools, you're going to select other. We also want you to put your 6th grade teacher's name right there. Now, the first choice says, please select what class you would like to be in as your first preference, right? Which class would you like to choose first? You will not see the options for ASB or yearbook here. You will need to submit an application for these electives, as we talked about in the video. And there will be a question at the end of this form asking you about ASB and yearbook, which is why you won't see those options here, okay? So here are your options. We have band class, orchestra, chorus, dance, and we have the exploratory wheel, which is what we talked about with art, culinary, industrial crafts, and computer science, okay? So that you're gonna select your first preference. So you select that one. Second choice. Oh, there it is. Please select what class you would like to be in for if your first preference is full. So if your first choice is full, we're asking everyone to fill out a second choice, okay? So this has to be different from your first selection, all right? And again, you won't see the options for ASB in your book here, and you'll see why. So you go ahead and select your second option. Third choice, same thing. You're going to select something different from your first and your second choice, just in case your second option is full, okay? Again, you won't see ASB or yearbook yet. Now, if you selected dance and you want to audition for advanced dance class, please visit the Future Minors website to find the link to apply or audition. Now, if you want to join beginning dance, You do not have to submit an audition. You can definitely select dance as an option. If you did not select dance, skip to the next question. Is string orchestra or advanced band? Again, the information to apply an audition will be on the website that I just showed you. And on here it says, if you selected string orchestra or advanced band, please state which instrument you played and how many years of experience you have. Remember, an audition is required for this option, okay? If you did not choose any of these options, please skip to the next question. Then it takes you to beginning band. If you're selecting beginning band, what is your preferred instrument? If you did not choose beginning band, please skip to the next question. Okay, here it is. ASB and yearbook. So for ASB and yearbook, please visit the Future Miners website so you can see more information about how to apply for ASB and yearbook. Okay, so right here it asks, will you be applying for, you put ASB, yearbook, or if you're not applying to any of these, you're just going to go ahead and select none. Okay, now, the last thing is answer any other questions you may have regarding electives. If none, then please submit this form. Okay, then we're at the very end. You're going to go ahead and review and submit. Review all of your answers and just submit. You will only be able to submit one request. Okay, we're going to go back to the Future Miners website. All right, so you've submitted the form, you're good to go. Okay, now something I want you to also review is the registration guide. Now, all of your parents will get this guide because there's a lot of important information on there. Now, I'm going to click on the guide. We're not going to go through it because it's a very long form and we don't got enough time for that. All right, but I do want to show you what it looks like so you just know what information is on there. Okay, it's going to give you information about our school. It's going to give you information about counseling department. It's going to give you general information about what I talked about. It's going to be broken down here into more details of everything I went over. So when you have the time, go over through all of these different things. We'll be updating this form as we go, as we get new information. So just make sure that you're up to date with all of these things moving forward. Okay. I do want to review the very last thing on this form that says right here. So we do have an orientation for sixth graders, and that will be on Tuesday, April 13th. So make sure you mark your calendars. On Tuesday, April 20th, we will have an orientation for parents. And then we'll also have an orientation for our Spanish speaking parents as well. And then we have other information here. So I just wanted to give everyone just an overview of what that looks like. Okay, and remember, now you will be able to rewatch this video if you would like to. All you would have to do is just go ahead and click here. Now, once you submit questions on that form that we just saw, you will be able to see us answer some of your questions on this form. So just make sure that you can refer back to it there. And that's pretty much it. I know it was a lot of information. Take your time with it. You will have an opportunity to rewatch this video if something that I said was maybe confusing or you needed clarification on and you wanted to rewatch it, you will have that option. And at the very top, we do have information about registration that's mostly for your parents, but just kind of let them know that there's this option here as well because they need to fill out some of these forms. And we also have a link for our Spanish speaking parents as well. I will also be sending this website link to your sixth grade teacher, and they will be sharing this information with you as well. This concludes this video presentation. Again, we're super excited to have you guys come to our school. So please reach out to any of the counselors for any information. All right, future miners, see you guys next school year.